Today I'm going to embark on a series of videos called Improvisation. So, we're going to learn how to improvise on the guitar. Improvisation is making art right on the spot. And there's something really beautiful about it is that it's a way of expressing yourself. It's a way for musicians to communicate with each other. I think for a musician to really know his instrument, he needs to be able to improvise. Whenever you're able to improvise, that's when you really know your instrument. Different styles of music are more conducive to it than others. Jazz is all about taking a song and just making it your own by improvising over the tune. You'll hear 100 different versions of Blue Moon, and everybody plays it a little bit different. So in jazz music, people tend to take a song and make it their own, and there's not so much emphasis on writing songs as there is taking the jazz standards and making them your own. It's kind of like that in blues too. I mean, you have people that write blues songs, but you'll hear people do the same blues song. They all sound different because people are improvising. In rock music and classical music, it might be a little different emphasis. When you see a rock band, you love to hear them play the song just like the record. You're real impressed when you see somebody cover a Led Zeppelin song and it sounds just like Led Zeppelin. And I suppose it's kind of like that in country music, but I'm being very general. I mean, there's improvisation in any style of music. Classical music is very regimented. You're playing what's written on the sheet. But in jazz and blues, the big thing you want to do is learn how to improvise. Now, I have students ask me all the time, how can I learn to improvise? And in my mind, the most important thing to understand your guitar and how to improvise in general and just understand music in general is understanding intervals. Intervals are the numbers names that we give to the notes of the scale. So right now, you're going to see what I call an interval map. What you're going to see is a picture of the notes of the G major scale. The major scale is the foundation of all music in the Western Hemisphere. We've all heard do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and that's exactly what you're looking at. Look, I'm going to start with my lowest note. You see, it's R, stands for root. Root is the first note of the scale. That's right there on the 4th string, 5th fret. Then I'm going to go to the 3rd string, 2nd fret. That's your second interval. That's the second interval of the scale. Then there's your 3rd interval on the 4th fret. Then your 5th interval is right. Your 4th interval is right here on the 5th fret. That's your 4th interval. Then I'm going to catch the 5th interval. That's the 2nd string, 3rd fret. And then your pinky is going to get the 5th fret. There you go. That's your 6th interval. First finger gets 2nd fret, 1st string. That's your 7th. And then your octave or your root. So there's the G major scale. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So first thing you need to do is be able to play that scale and be able to visualize those intervals. Know that that's a root. Know that that's a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here. Now in this next image you're going to see shows you the notes of the arpeggio. What is an arpeggio? Arpeggio is the notes of the chord. So when look what I've got. I'm going to play all these at the same time. Root, 3, 5, and another root. So root 3, 5 makes a major chord. There you go. So I've got a 1, 3, 5 root. If I play it all together, it's a chord. It's a major chord. If I play it separately, it's a major arpeggio. Okay, so now we have the major scale, and now we have the major arpeggio. Now, those are 2 of the 3 elements that I'm thinking about most when I'm improvising: the major scale and the major arpeggio. And the 3rd element is the blues scale. So look at this. Look at this next image. We're going to have the blues scale. We're going to start here with your root. Then we're going to hit this note. Notice that says a flat 3rd. What I mean by flat 3rd is that it's a fret lower than the 3rd. Remember we had a 3rd interval right there when we did the major scale. Well, This is a flat third. It's flat. It's lower than the third. There's a flat third. Then we have a 4. Then we have a flat 5. See, it's right there. And then we have a 5, a flat 7, and then a root. The minor blues scale in the key of G. Those 3 elements are the most important elements you're going to learn when improvising, in my humble opinion. So whenever I'm playing a lead, instead of thinking about scales, say, okay, here on G major scale. Well, you know, my students all around, they say, it sounds like I'm just playing scales. Well, that's what you're doing. What I do when I'm playing lead is I don't approach it just thinking about the scales. What I say, okay, I'm going to take a major arpeggio because I know those notes always work. Matter of fact, those are the most consonant, those are the most pleasing notes. When you play the arpeggio, think of them as home base. We always come back to those notes. I might hit something like, but I'm coming back to that note of the major chord, the arpeggio. I might hit a 6, but I'm coming back to the 5. I might hit a 4, but I'm coming back to the 3. I might hit a 2, I'm coming back to the 1. But those notes right there are the most common notes. So when I'm playing lead, I always start off with these arpeggio, and then I add the other notes of the major scale that aren't in the arpeggio. That would be the 2, the 4, the 6, or the 7, because the 1, 3, 5 is in the arpeggio. So when I'm playing a lead, I'll just play the major arpeggio, or add the other notes of the scale. See? When you look at the blues scale, you're going to notice that it has some notes in common with the major scale. They both have a root, they both have a 4, and they both have a 5. But the blues scale is unique because it has a flat third, a flat 5, and a flat 7. These 3 notes are what we call the blue notes because they're from the blues scale. So when we're improvising, what we're going to do in these first set of lessons is we're going to play the arpeggio, and we're going to emphasize the arpeggio. Then we're going to add the other notes of the major scale, which will be the 2, 4, 6, and 7. And we're going to add the 3 blue notes, flat 3, flat 5, and flat 7. In my mind, those are the essential notes. There are a few others, but those are the most essential, okay? So I'm just going to show you what I can do just with those notes. Here you go. In my mind, I'm just thinking about those particular intervals. So I'm going to start with the ones that I think are the most useful first, the ones that are most obvious, and then just work way on down the line. G major arpeggio. So you want to remember that that's a 1, 3, 5, and a 1 again. Okay? Now, I'm going to add a blue note. The first note I'm going to add that's not the arpeggio is the flat third. Remember, there's the third, so where's the flat third? It's right here. See? So you should see an image about right now. And I'm going to go root, flat 3, flat, then a third, 5 octave, 5, back to the flat 3, and then a third, and then your root. So I'm going. See, so much. Notice I'm going flat third, 5 root, 5, flat third, third. Now what I like to do is a hammer. Just pick one note there, flat third, third. How many times have you heard this? It's a very common sound. There you go. So that's just adding the flat third to the arpeggio. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the arpeggio, and I'm one of the next to the most important interval in my mind is the 6th interval. Because you hear that so much. Watch this. 1, 3, 5, 6 is right there. 2nd string, 5th fret. Then your octave. You're all right. You're there, and you should see an image of it about right now. So 1, 3, 5, 6 octave. chord things. 1, 3, 5, 6 octaves. Okay. Now I'm going to combine the previous two. Remember, we have a flat third and a sixth. So I'm going to take the arpeggio and I'm going to add the flat third and the sixth. Like this. Root, flat 3, 3, 5, 6. Octave. 6, 5, flat 3, 3. See? Things like. Just those intervals, a major arpeggio, a flat third, and a sixth. Okay. Now the next note that I think is very important is the flat 7. The flat 7 is also known as the dominant 7. That's where you get that dominant 7 sound that you hear in all the blues and the jazz. So now we're going to go 1, 3, 5, flat 7. Always, that's one of the blue notes in the blues scale, right? We have remember the blue notes are the flat 3, the flat 5, and the flat 7. Now, always remember the flat 7 is just a fret above the 6. I don't care where you're at on the neck, it's always true. If you have a 6 here, your flat 7 is always going to be a fret higher. So watch this. 1, 3, 5, flat 7 in the octave. 1, 3, 5, flat 7. Okay. And now, then lastly, we're going to combine all of them. We're going to add the flat third, the 6, and the flat 7 around this arpeggio. Here's the arpeggio. Add the flat third. Now just the 6. And now the flat 7. Now I'm going to add all of everything we've done so far. Just with those intervals, watch what I'm going to do. Just those intervals. Okay, and now we're off an improviser. Now, let me talk a little bit about rhythm. In music, we have what we call straight eights and swing eights. You might have heard the song. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Well, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Well, what they mean by that is that we have swing eighths. Eighth notes sound like this. Steady pulse. But swing, you hesitate before the upstroke. I'll never forget. It was when I first was exposed to swing music, probably 1981, maybe 82. And one night I had a dream, and I dreamed I was playing guitar and I was just swinging. I was hesitating before that I was hesitating on the upbeat to where I was swinging like this instead of. Because before that I was a rock player, and I just really wasn't thinking much about swing. But then that dream just kind of just really inspired me to just want to play swing. So the swing is you just hesitate before the upstroke. Here instead of. That sounds kind of doesn't sound very exciting. So get those notes and go. Okay, now, so what we're going to do, we're going to take that one. Let me mention, I'm doing that in the key of G, but it works everywhere. That's the beautiful thing. If I want to do it in A flat, everything's just up fret. Up another fret, A. A sharp. B. C. And so forth. So we're not learning in just one key. We're going to use the key of G as the example because it's kind of convenient. But once you get it in one key, you can play it in any key. Okay. So this is the first video in a series I'm going to do. So as I make more of these, you can just visit my website. You can visit my YouTube channel and check out the playlist. I'll have them all on one playlist. So, all right, if you have any questions, you can just leave them in the comments below, and I hope you enjoy.